Hello, 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 and welcome to the live. We are logging in now tonight to talk about what we just watched on Love Island, season 7, episode 12, and there is a lot to talk about. Say hey to the people, V.
Hey.
And just in case you didn't know, this is a mom and daughter team up here, but we're watching this show together. So we're just going to go through. We're not going to do a lot of small talk. We're going to jump right into what went down. And I'm going to call this the aftermath, right? The aftermath after the recoupling. So the very first thing, V, that kind of stood out to me was the thing where Huda was processing, like, what is happening right now? Is it that America hates me, or are they seeing something that I don't see?
What's the question?
No question. Just saying that is that the first thing after the everything got over last night. Tonight, was that the first big thing too that kind of jumped out at you with all of the emotions that was going on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about her coming to the conclusion that America must be trying to protect her?
Um it's kind of one of those things. It's just like I understand the spiraling just because Huda has given off this pattern that she can't own up to what she's doing, but she's
Mhm.
100% oblivious to it. But I do give a little bit of room for it. Like, yes, Huda is a grown woman. She should be able to understand when something's wrong. But when everyone in the villa has the same thought process or pretty much the same process about Huda, and nobody has checked her at all throughout the whole thing and being genuine with her. Like, you already know that y'all are trying to step on eggshells, yada yada yada, and there's no reason to have a screaming match with her checking on her. Like, y'all need to have, really, the girls, not really the dudes, needed to have a heart to heart and really talk to her and be like, "Girl, you need to fix this." Because
Yeah,
if they would have done that, not saying they have to, it would have been great if they did, because I feel like it would have de-escalated a lot of the backlash that she's receiving and a
mhm.
lot of the stuff that's happening in the show. But if some of the people like Shelly, Olandria, all these people that are very level-headed, you always flash around, I'm gonna tell people like it is, and you're not doing that. It's kind of like, this is not a moment to be like, I support women's rights and wrongs. We love Serena's quote, but this is not the time for that, because you see, it's not one of those wrongs that you can just sweep under the rug and call it a day.
Yeah, because I think that's in part like how they even got here. Like by them not, because even in this moment where, and I understand she's so broken at that point, that it's kind of hard at that point to give a hard truth, right? But to end up leaving this whole thing with her saying, okay, America is trying to protect me. They must know something that I don't know. And the kind of when they all have seen things that they felt like, girl, you doing too much.
Yeah.
But they never told her that.
Yeah, as soon as those words came out and said, I feel like they're trying to protect me, I think he's been lying to me, he, that should have lit something in their brains to be like,
Mm.
oh girl, no. Like, no. Why would, like, no, 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 no. Me personally, if I was in their shoes, I would look at it in the sense of, I'm a girl's girl, but if you looking stupid, I'm gonna make it known you're looking stupid, not to a crazy extent because I just met y'all. But if it's something this big and y'all are altering y'all's relationship, I'll be like, girl, we need to talk about X, Y, and Z. And you need to keep this into consideration, because I'm telling you, all of us have a consensus about what's going on. And if the majority of the villa feels one way, pretty much you could probably estimate that America probably feels that way also.
Yeah. Because I think Olandria was probably the closest to being like, this is what America's actually thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
And instead of, we'll probably talk about it later, but instead of Huda going around trying to figure out what's going on, me personally, if I was in her shoes, and especially, let's say, You already know how Love Island works. You've watched past seasons. The first people I would talk to are the bombshells that just came in, and I don't know if producers would probably cut this out, but I would ask them, what image were y'all seeing outside of the villa?
Yeah.
Because it's very much known that the bombshells can watch the show unless they change the rules this year. But I remember one time there was a bombshell. I don't know if it was last season or even a couple seasons ago. Literally said, "I've been having my eyes on Rob ever since I saw the show."
No, I
So
think that's still the case because one of the guys said they knew when they were coming in, they knew who they were coming in for, like who they were going to want to like get to know better. So that made me feel like they too, just like in the past seasons, they saw something.
yeah. So me personally, one, I feel like I'm probably more of a level-headed person than Huda is, even though it is a lot of emotions. But like, I would take their word a lot more than the people that I've been in the villa with since day one.
I agree.
Because y'all literally were in the outside world 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and one big mistake that she had, probably talk about it more later, automatically saying that Iris is moving weird and she is the only girl that was being real to you.
Yeah.
And I know,
And that
and I know it's hard to grasp because it puts her in a situation like there are the people that you've been in the villa with the most. They're saying this one thing, and then it's the one girl that comes in, is having a date with Jeremiah. You see them happy, and she's being real with you. I could understand how she could completely shove that off.
well, I'd say let's talk about it because how Huda at the end flips on Iris. Now she done spent this whole episode crying, calling Jeremiah out his name, doing all the things, looking like she about ready to literally like lay somebody out in the pool. Okay. She done did all that. But at the end, she still comes back to finding her way to blame the bombshell. Right. Look at her. She calls herself a girl's girl. Look at her. She's moving funny. And what Huda does not know, of course, because she's in the bubble. She doesn't know what America's thinking. That it is that right there that made people like want to break them up.
Yeah,
It's that type of thing right there that made people want to break them up. Here you go. Look at her. She's suspicious. What is she doing? You know, it's like, first of all, that girl, Iris, to me, is the most level headed girl up in there, you know,
she
or
is.
one of the most level headed girls up in there. She wasn't trying to be shady or anything like that. And then for her to just automatically go to look at her, she's moving funny. I'm like, Huda, that's why America does not like you right now.
Yeah. Cause it's like I'm trying to give. You saw me watching it. I'm trying to give girl the benefit of the doubt. I do not. I do not support the Huda bashing when it comes to just Jeremiah and hers relationship. I do not paint that as just Huda's fault because Ace even said in the show, he said one thing that I agreed with. You set the bar so high, and then once you're not setting it continuously, then there's going to be an issue. I mentioned that in the last live. That naturally happens. Me personally, you cannot set a bar so goddamn high that's almost untouchable as soon as you meet them. Automatically show loyalty. And you really think that the girl is not going to react some type of way once you stop doing that and start pulling away. The little pancake stuff, all of that, I would kind of put that into Jeremiah, be a man, you supposedly want to have the lead. You want to be more dominant. You want to do this. Tell Huda how she's actually making you feel.
How you really, yeah.
Don't let her run all over you. You're putting yourself in that situation. You are a grown man. A grown man. Don't be intimidated now because you know you cheated on your last girlfriend. You said you learned your lesson. I mean, people can learn, but it's just like you need to be a man. Be somebody that got a backbone and defend yourself when there's these small little arguments that could easily be fixed if you just have a conversation.
I agree. I
And
agree.
I do not condone Huda is 100% the bad guy. I do not go down that road because Jeremiah, there are some things that he could have done, especially after this episode. He could have easily just talked with her to try to de-escalate, or at least talk to her and be like, hey, like, I'm so sorry that happened, like, I'm here for you, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, instead of being in this bubble, not even talking to her. And if you're not going to talk to her after something that big, one of the biggest things that's happened this season, obviously her mind is going to go all over the place. It's been going all over the place.
And the thing about that is, I don't even see how in the real world Jeremiah and Huda would ever make it, because Huda may be who she is, and she may be her. Obviously, she is going to tell you exactly what she thinks. She's a firecracker. Jeremiah looks literally scared. Okay. And I don't mean just because of how she's acting. I mean, to me, it was a coward move when he didn't go say anything to her. You
Yeah.
you saw this girl about to be voted off the show, and she's up here crying and upset. Whether you call it love bombing or not, I so hate when Ace is right. In the beginning, it was love bombing, because that's why I was looking at Jeremiah like, what's wrong with him? Because he's doing too much. He just met the girl. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
just doing too much. So it was to me, the thing about, we know Jeremiah is fine. Okay, let's just go on and get that out the way. But
Mhm.
Jeremiah is very childish in ways to me that are important. Like how he said he shut down and he just didn't have anything else to give. You have a woman who, whether no matter what America thinks, y'all have been in this bubble together, acting like y'all are like two love struck puppies. Okay. And this woman is devastated, standing up there, really feeling like America must hate her, hate them, and she doesn't know what's going on. And you say nothing to her,
That's crazy.
nothing. And so I kind of look at Jeremiah kind of side eye too, because it's kind of like, are you used to people looking at you like you're this good looking guy, but you're not cocky with it. You almost come off like some innocent little dove who's kind of caught up in something. So has that been your way of not being accountable?
I think it's I think it's a little bit of that, but I think it's also like he is not emotionally mature on the level of just talking things out.
True.
Like he puts himself in this bubble no matter what the situation is, where he truly cannot talk things out. Even we saw this earlier a couple of episodes ago when the dude's got in his head and he was thumbs up towards Huda and being all weird. Like, no matter what anybody thinks of Huda, that junk was weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody just does that, give a thumbs up and a handshake. That's disrespectful. I don't care how Huda is. It's like, if people can't notice that's a weird switch up of how you're coping with your emotions, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like y'all are in a like a true relationship, but you put yourself in a situation that y'all are technically closed off with each other. As soon as y'all went on that little stage after y'all coupled up, and then or after Huda picked you, and then who I forgot who came up to kiss Jeremiah, and you said, "I'll kiss you on the cheek."
Yeah.
From there, you were showing loyalty minutes within the episode,
Yeah.
and then you switch up and give the girl a handshake and a thumbs up.
And that's why I was looking at Jeremiah crazy, because, and I'm glad you called that out. You can't get any earlier than the selection process at the very beginning when you enter the villa.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very beginning of the selection process, when you enter the villa, you already was acting, Jeremiah was already acting like, nope, nobody, don't even try to kiss me. I got her. She's the one I want. You could kiss me on the cheek. I mean, minutes at the very tip top. You don't know anything about this girl other than how she looks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So you did a lot of this. You kind of you played into creating this thing, this love bombing, this all of this. Now Huda got her faults too, and we've talked about those. But I'm starting to get a little annoyed by how Jeremiah to me is almost getting a pass, like he's some vulnerable. He can't stand up for himself. She's overtaking him. She's doing too much. Is, is she doing too much because he did too much at the beginning?
I think so. I think so, and especially what would make her truly crash out. Look, and when I'm saying this, for anybody watching, when I'm saying this, this does not excuse how she acts towards the girls.
Mm,
This does not excuse her calling them the B word, thinking the girls are the issue. That does not excuse any of it. But you do all of this love bombing. Y'all are all good. As soon as the girl mentions that she has a child, that is when everything went downhill. And it is not anything like Jeremiah is pointing out, well, you're a mom, you're a mom. It's just small little things. As soon as that big information came out, all the small things just started like showing out a little more. I'm assuming in Huda's head, as soon as she said that she's a mom, you would probably think that he would step up more if he truly wants to be in this relationship and is truly fine with you having a kid. He would show it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's probably what she was waiting for. And she's
Well,
not seeing it, and she's seeing the bare minimum, and then on top of that, she gets an uncooked pancake. So it's like it's a domino effect. It's small things, small little stupid things, but I could see how it could all blow up, and it's just like Huda can't control her emotions sometimes, but at the end of the day, when something is bothering her, she will tell him.
that's true, and she doesn't take the easy way out. But both of these people don't get on my nerves because I'm gonna tell you something Huda did tonight that rubbed me wrong, and I'm curious to know if it probably I don't know how it might have come off to you when she was talking to Nick. No, no, no. When she was talking to Ace, and she was explaining that the reason why she moves the way she moves is because she's a mother. A part of me felt like, girl, don't try to use your kid as leverage to try to explain, like, I don't know how to explain it. It felt like to me like she was almost using her kid
As an
as a way to say, well, I move a certain way or I behave a certain way because I have a kid. So I have to take things more
more serious.
seriously. Yeah. Or I have to be more passionate about it. Because I could say, as a mom, you would not want to jump in with both feet so quickly because you don't know this man. At the end of the day, it's been a few days and you're already like, oh, I can't wait for us to be. Would you share your location? If I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
kind of weird for you to be like, well, I just want to explain to you, Ace, the reason why I act the way that I act is because I'm a mom, and I know you don't know that. And I was so glad. It's like I said, I hate to support anything Ace does, but I'm so glad that Ace responded to that in a way of kind of like, okay,
yeah, and then also how he reacted, he already knew. Somebody already told him.
I believe
Because
that too.
because Ace is not that type of person that when there's some type of big information that he just hounds it in and shoves it off. Nick definitely told him.
I
There's no
believe that.
way that Nick has too big of a mouth. There is no way that boy did not tell him. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's and then also like I would think this. If anybody has watched Love is Blind, when it was Jess, and someone else. Jess is the woman. She looks kind of low key like Megan Fox. She's younger, but she has a daughter. She entered in that experience talking about her daughter. If I was
Mhm.
on Love Island, that would be the first thing everybody know. I have a kid. That is like how you say a lot. That is literally if somebody took my heart out and they're just walking around.
Yep.
Everybody would know that I have a kid. Because at
Hmm.
the end of the day, you can't know me unless you know my kid.
Right.
Like not saying like you have to have this huge attachment thing if something did work out or you have to 100% be almost the kid's stepdad. No. I'm just saying there is no me without her or him. So it's
And look, this is not married at first sight. This is
like
not like you're saying you're going to marry this person. Why not tell the people up front you got a kid? Because look, if me having a kid is a deal breaker for you, you don't need to waste your time, and I don't need to waste my time.
yeah, exactly.
So why not just say it up front? But I
Exactly.
think I think a lot of what Jeremiah has done now, Huda looks worse. She looks worse because of how she behaves.
Hmm.
Okay. And because she's cussing him out. Now, she might not look worse to a lot of people, though, because a lot of people might be like, yes, give him that work because he is a coward in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
He is a coward because I'm telling you, there is no excuse for him not checking on her.
Yeah, even freaking Nick, I'm glad he said it. I mean, I'm not really too fond of him at the moment because of all the stuff, but Nick even saying like you as a man, you should have checked up on her.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that they kind of brushed it off and not really dug into that deeper, like Jeremiah, as soon as Nick said that, and you say this is supposedly your brother, the one that you're closest with, obviously not because he switched on you real quick. Your real friend should be Austin. But as soon as he said that, me, if I was in Jeremiah's shoes, I would have gotten up and went to go talk to Huda.
Right. Right.
Like that should be your instinct. That should be your instinct.
And why do you have to be told to do it though? You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And
So
then
it ties
also,
back to I'm sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
oh, I was about to say, then also, now, Huda was calling him the B word a lot in that shower, talking to herself, looking crazy. Okay. I get how that don't look right. But also, you just had this connection and you threw yourself at this girl for so long. No matter if she calling me a B word or not, I'm still gonna talk to you.
Well, he tried. Remember, he said, "I didn't lie to you," and she just walked past him and went up the stairs.
Oh
But
yeah,
that
that.
was still weak. And this is the thing: before Huda called him the first bitch,
Mm-mm.
before she called him the first bitch, he had the opportunity to pull her right away. That should have been his first reaction.
Yeah.
He should have pulled the same way Charlie pulled Hannah before he had to leave. He should have pulled her right away. Cause y'all
Mm-hmm.
close, right? I mean, y'all know y'all in love. So how
No,
you don't pull her? She up there, eyes red as fire, them down spiders. I know you like them lashes, but them spiders up down her eyes. The girl is tore. She think America hate her,
mm.
and you don't check on her at all.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, that was foul. That was
Nope.
foul. So, but like you said now, but at the end of it though, she still found a way to blame Iris.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And the way Jeremiah was looking at Iris on the beach, what you thought about that?
I saw his eyeballs. One thing about Jeremiah, he is a dude. He is a beautiful man, but he speaks with his eyes. He
Hmm.
speaks with his freaking eyes, those beautiful, beautiful eyes. I looked at it, and especially, the quality is completely different this season when they on dates. I don't know what type of camera quality that is, but that junk is crisp. I felt like I saw a goddamn sparkle in his eye. I'm like, oh, this dude is done. I was like, oh, it's over. Like
Like in
it's
the little corner, the corner of his eye, like
yeah.
bling.
I'm like, there is no going back at all. He was looking at her like, oh my god, I'm in love. And then on top of that, I mean, I don't blame him a little bit either, because you just go from something, it's that toxic kind of exciting, messy type of feeling. But then you are on a beach, one of the most mellow dates that you could probably ever have, with a girl that is showing as of right now very level headed. So it's like it's a polar opposite.
It is
It's
a
a
polar
hectic
opposite.
situation. You're in a
Hmm.
peaceful location with a peaceful girl. Like,
Well, and even in that, Huda was like unreasonable because she's like, "What did y'all do?" She said, "Oh,
she
we
didn't
just
have to
like
do that.
sat on the beach," and she act like Jeremiah planned the trip and decided where they were going. That's my dream date, and he knows that. Well, what did you
Yeah.
want Jeremiah to do?
I think it was kind of like she could have worded that differently. And she was like, she could have easily been like, dang, and that's my dream date or dream date too. What a coincidence. She could have easily said that. What a
Right,
coincidence. And
right.
call it a day. But also in that moment, I don't think it was any ill intent towards Jeremiah. I think she was just in that moment spiraling and just pulling out everything and just saying like, dang, that's my dream date. And Jeremiah know that too. I don't think she said it in a way that's like Jeremiah picked the date. I don't think that.
But girl, I felt like she was still blaming him, and I felt like she was blaming him as if somehow he should have done something. Excuse me, that he should have done something almost to not go on the date. Because when she said that's my dream date, and he knows that, I heard judgment
Mm.
in her voice. But I could be wrong. But let's talk about the scene though, when they literally come back to the island on the boat.
Mm-mm-mm.
And
She
when Huda started taking off her t-shirt, what the hell she had on? Was it flip-flops or something? What did she take off
she
her
had
feet?
she had black slides. She has a black swimsuit, and then she got a big black t-shirt over.
Ooh,
So
everybody was scared.
I I was like, she looked like she was just about to beat somebody up. Like some, what was it? There was some TikTok I saw, and somebody in the comments was like, "We about to have a baddies Fiji edition." That's what it
I
was feeling
mean,
like when they were editing it.
it was
But
it was about to become real hip hop of Fiji. I mean, I thought she was finna start slamming bodies.
Yeah. It was yeah. Yeah. But I think honestly her isolating herself and not going over there, I think was the best because I couldn't even imagine what she would have done or what would be the point of her welcoming them back when she's already in a mood. So it's kind
No,
of like, yeah, you just need to stay over there.
I agree. She shouldn't have went over there because I think she would have laid hands on somebody. But
I
I
don't think she
also
would have.
think,
I don't think she would have laid hands. I think she would just keep yelling.
child, okay.
She
But
don't.
I think,
I don't
yeah,
get. I do not get a. Sorry, but I don't get a fighting type from Huda. I just
what?
feel like I don't get full on physical beat up someone. I don't get that vibe. I just get she will talk your ear off until it like her. She will talk it off until it bleeds till your eardrums bust. She gives off that.
You don't think Huda is capable of putting her hands on somebody?
I mean, I think she could if she wanted to, but I don't think she will. Like, I genuinely do not think she will at all. I don't believe it. I think she'll cuss you the frick out, and I think it's one of those things. Like, if a girl laid a punch on her first, then she'll do it. But I don't think she'll do the first punch.
Okay, so let me ask you about this, and you and I can agree to disagree on that, honey, because I think Huda would literally drag somebody across that beach. I think she's restraining herself, and it's good enough that she's mature enough to restrain herself. But the flavor in which she was calling him the B word, mm-mm, mm-mm.
It was a lot. It was a lot of.
Yeah, it was a lot of. So let me ask you this now: what were your thoughts on Ace tonight? Who is like what would we call Ace tonight? Is he the prophet? Is he the lecturer? Is he the guidance counselor? What was Ace doing tonight?
He's just the lecturer. I think even though there was some truth to what he was saying, like I personally am not going to be able to process it until he gives his all into a couple or
Hmm.
shows that he's truly interested. Luckily, there's a recoupling tomorrow, so we'll see. But I feel like it's the wrong person talking. I get the point, but he is not saying it in a good enough way for me.
Hmm.
And it's right points. Was it right things being said, wrong mouth it's coming out of, or whatever the frick it is? It's just like
Oh,
I think,
right message, wrong person.
yeah. I
Oh
just
no,
think,
no, right message, wrong messenger.
yeah. I just think Ace like he has so much energy towards Jeremiah and Huda. Like Austin said, why is he so amped up? Like right now, he's over there standing up, like yelling about the situation, yada, yada, yada. Why does he care that much? Why does he give off this persona that he is such a chill, relaxed dude, mysterious? You got to figure Ace out. And this is the one thing that's truly bothering him. And the only thing that is making sense to me right now is that you see two people that are in it for the long run, and you know that they might, maybe get the money, even though I mean the world is kind of against them. But it's just like you see competition and you just want to knock them down. That's what I feel like it is. Because it's too
I
much
do too.
energy for me. You do not give this much energy towards people you just met 12 days ago. You don't
Well,
do that.
I think the one giveaway that Ace is doing with how he's acting, it is very clear to me that Ace fully sees this as a game. And
Hmm.
I think he did see or does see Huda and Jeremiah as a threat. Because whereas he thinks they're quote unquote scamming, right? He's telling us that Huda and he feels like they're scamming or she's scamming or one of them is scamming. They try to get to the finish line. Well, what I would say to Ace is maybe you think they're scamming so much because you're actually scamming.
Yeah.
You're actually scamming. You're trying to play this. I'm cute. I like to dance. Look at all these cute things I'm doing for Shelly. Look at me talking to these other girls. I'm so cool. So whenever I finally put my nickel down on something, America's gonna say, well, we can't say that's not real because he took his time.
No, I don't
He's
believe it.
playing the game.
I don't believe it because my thing is this. How can, if people are blindsided by this, I think they're honestly kind of dumb. How can you trust how strong, or you think the relationship is so strong just because the person took a long time to get in a relationship? I would trust the relationship that lasts the longest
Hmm.
and seems authentic. But like, let's say I don't think this will happen because I feel like there'll be somebody else that swoops in at a certain point. But let's say this Shelly and Ace thing is still just in the air. Like, let's
Hmm.
say they couple up, but then something happens. They're still in the villa, and there's just the sexual chemistry, some type of chemistry. And then within the last week of the island, they get together, and then it finally looks like commitment. I am not voting them as the best couple.
Yeah, me either.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I will vote somebody that's the best couple that have been through the trials and the tribulations, true trials and tribulations with one singular couple, not the whole time. But I think one good example is Sierra and Nick.
Yeah.
They seem comfortable right now. I mean, not saying anything can't happen because Nick is just like Ace. Bombshell come in, he turns his head. Okay, but they're in that stage now. They could go through something, still be coupled up, and still be back with each other and maybe potentially win.
And people would respect that.
Yeah, that's
People
like
people
Serena.
would respect it.
Oh, you keep going.
No, no, no. I just said people would respect it.
Oh, that's like Serena and Cordell. It was a slow burn. Then it started to open up. Then Casa happened. Everybody was pissed the frick off at every single boy, but especially Cordell. People were pissed off. You would think how
Yeah.
people are talking, they would never forgive that man. And guess who ends up winning the whole thing? Serena and
Yeah.
Cordell.
And I think the way people even forgave Cordell last season was because Serena did give it to him. She didn't make it easy. You know, she didn't make it easy. So we felt like what we saw was real. That's how we felt. We felt like what we saw was real. She didn't make it easy. She wasn't like, what's the girl named Kayla, who as soon as this guy came back and basically said, I'm sorry and I love you, she basically just fell into his arms. You
Yeah.
know, Serena did not do that. And I think
Serena
that's
made him
what
work.
made, yeah, she made him work. So what do you think? When Huda went off and was calling him all the bees, she told Jeremiah he was selfish, told him that he was love bombing her, calling him a bee all across the villa. And when Ace told Jeremiah, that's what I was trying to protect you from.
I think in that moment, I don't really blame Huda because it's not like she's going to have a magical realization that she's in the wrong in some of the instances. I look at that moment kind of like, why are y'all letting this girl spiral? Why are y'all so scared of this girl? One of these girls, like, you need to tell her, like, stop trying to be a girl's girl. Oh my God, I'm so sorry he did that to you. Like, no, no, because you're letting the girl, like, put herself in a narrative and think one thing that is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
It might be a 1% true, but like that is not the reason why people voted that way. They're not going to know what America thinks, but they're thinking the same as America.
And they've said things that we know they're thinking that way. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like why not tell her the truth? And you know, I know in the moment when somebody's falling apart, like it's hard to really tell them the hard truth. But to let her just fully believe that, oh, now Jeremiah is the villain. If anything, y'all both went too fast. Y'all both from day one, from the choice of selecting who you wanted to be with, acted like y'all fell in love on the spot. Huda, with you being a mom, as you are telling us, as a reason for how you behave, it's not aligning, girl. Because you being a mom should make you behave a little bit more carefully, not like I'm in love day one as soon as I see somebody. Okay, so they both, Jeremiah and Huda, have both played a role into this dysfunction that we're seeing right now. But I will still say I'm in agreement with what you said when we did a live yesterday, which is if Huda and Jeremiah can bounce back from this, get through this, find their way back to each other, they do have a high chance still of winning this game.
Yeah. I think that chances definitely has went down a lot more, especially knowing there's a recoupling tomorrow. Cause
Yeah.
I Love Island now give a little bit of room too. Love Island loves editing stuff and leaving out a bunch of stuff. It's happened every season.
Yeah.
Like now, normally, sometimes there'll be like a hot new bombshell has entered the villa and a recoupling at the fire pit. That's what you would expect them to say. But all they said is quick recoupling. That's all they said. So that leaves room for, you don't know who's going to walk up in that villa. You don't know if they're going to do a recoupling with only the people that are still there. You don't know what type of challenge is going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All you know is they all going to sit their little butts down at that fire pit and somebody going home.
And I don't even want to think about that. That hurts my brain because I almost feel like this episode hurt my brain tonight. So that I'm just gonna wait to see what happens tomorrow. But I could tell you one thing: if Huda, because I don't know, as soon as they leave the island, do they have access to their phone? Well, they probably all know what's going on now because this is already recorded. Well, no, this is live, right? They're
No, it's
literally
not
on the
live.
island now. Yeah.
Well, it's somewhat live. It's happening in real time, but like tomorrow's, let me see what time it is in Fiji. That's a good question. Hold up.
But meaning it's not like it's something they filmed 6 months ago.
No, yes, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no.
So when Huda, whenever she does finally get her cell phone back, whatever stage they get their phones back and stuff like that, Huda is gonna probably be really hurt to know that America did, at least at this point in the season, really did hate her.
Yeah. And she's already, and I was talking about this, like, she's already an influencer, like, workout wise. And mind you, people loved her as a fitness influencer.
Mm,
Like, I went through her social media because even one of the first videos I saw of her, once I knew she was going to be on Love Island, like, I remembered watching that video before. So I was like, okay, I've seen this girl before. People, when I tell you, they loved her. They're in the comments, like, saying, oh my God, love your videos. You're so real. You're so real. Within the first 2 episodes, 3 episodes, Huda, you would think Huda's about to be the new Leah. As
wow.
soon as all that stuff happened with that goddamn pancake and the challenges and how possessive she could be, like, seen, that flipped hard. That
Wow.
flipped hard. Literally, who was it? With the initial rankings, there's this Instagram that I follow that has a good bit of following, and they do like a fake ranking. Shelly was like at number one, I think, but Huda, she was number two. She was still high. She was high up there.
Mm,
So it's just like, whenever she goes back, I really hope that she has a therapist. She seeks therapy. She truly takes this time to work on herself and dedicate her time to her child. Because no matter how bad a person is, even though I wouldn't even paint Huda as a devil or an evil person or
right,
anything like
right,
that.
right.
It's just, no matter how crazy someone could act, especially on a reality TV show, and it's nothing too bad, I don't wish them to go into a deep depression. I don't
No.
want them to go through anything that's like, oh, she learned her lesson now. I'm not talking like that, because at the end of the day, these are real people with real lives.
Right. You would have to be something wrong with a person to even think like that. Like I don't want anything to happen to her business outside of this show. You know,
Exactly.
I'm sure she came on this show to elevate her business. Whether she wins or not, this is great exposure, supposed to be, for her to be on here. And we're still a long way from the end. So I think she could still potentially even recover the perception of her. But even if she wasn't able to do that, to your point, this is a dating show that is really at the end of the day really not that serious.
Yeah, and it's just, Love Island is one of the biggest shows out there, and to some people are really crazy. Even there was a TikTok I heard earlier today. We playing with these people like Sims characters. I've honestly did not find that funny at all. Like,
Mm,
I was kind of just like, I get it. I get people are trying to be messy. I get people are trying to have good television, but it gets to a point that it's kind of like, okay, y'all doing all this, but then when they come back and they're truly distraught of the backlash that they got, like, you can't just laugh at their face and shove it away like, oh, they shouldn't be feeling this way. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen with Huda.
it's messy, but it's a kind of thing of I'm kind of torn. I'm like, no, we don't want anybody to come on this show, get their ego destroyed, or get something like with their business go wrong because now it's this negative perception of them. That's too much, right? We would hope that doesn't happen. We don't want anybody to leave this show and do anything to themselves because the public perception is so heavy and so negative and anything like that. That would be too far too. So at the same time that I feel like that, and I feel strongly about that, 10 toes down on that, I also feel that you kind of You need to try to have an appreciation for what you're signing up for when you go on reality TV,
Yeah.
because it is not a space where they put people together to find joy and bliss without drama. The more drama, actually, the better.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. It's kind of like what you and I were talking about when we were watching this episode. As much as people may hate Huda, if she leaves this show, it's gonna be boring.
It is gonna be boring. And my thing is like what did somebody say? Somebody said something like this show was all about Huda, 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 Huda. And then they talked about who they voted for Iris to get with. And I'm like, y'all asked for this though. Like, don't flip it kind of like Huda, like, oh, it's just all about Huda. Like you wanted this to happen.
Yeah,
Like it's
people wanted to see Huda crash out tonight.
yeah, and it's kind of like you expected to crash out. Everybody expects a crash out, but you could have probably been like, I knew that girl was gonna crash out, and say something simple, but don't turn it be like, girl is crazy for crashing out. You knew this was gonna happen.
No. Yeah, that now that's disingenuous, because at the end of the day, we all knew Huda was going to crash out tonight in one way or the other. Now we didn't know how far she was going to go, but we knew it was going to be some crashing out. Whether it was excessive crying, her being angry and upset, we knew she was going to crash out, and the majority of America wanted to see it.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of it. Now, what would be amazing is if somebody else came onto this island that she genuinely liked, or I don't know. I don't feel like Jeremiah is really feeling Iris, but he was looking at her some kind of way on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine hooking up with Ace.
Yeah, no. I don't even want that to happen. That sounds like torture.
Is that one of those scenarios where you'd have to stop watching?
Yeah, because how much the producers paid y'all to do this crap? Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I'm thinking too, like Huda, me personally, if I was in this experience, like the last person I'd want to talk to is Ace.
Yeah.
To be honest, because you can't be blindsided. Boy has been after y'all this whole time, this whole entire time, and it's very much obvious. Like even when he's saying it around y'all, like there's some of the conversations y'all weren't around, so I'll give y'all a little bit of room for that. But I mean, he doesn't have any respect for y'all. I understand her talking with Nick, but I don't understand her talking to Ace. I did not understand that.
Ace is slimy. Ace has been negative about her and Jeremiah in a way that is too much. It's
Yeah,
like you can feel like, okay, they all in love soon as we got to the island. That's crazy to me. You could have said that and left it alone. But all
literally.
the smirks, the rolling the eyes, the see, that's what I told you. That's what I was trying to protect you from. Him coaching the other guys about how you got to listen to what these women want and all that. And I'm sitting here looking at him like, first of all, you're the scammer. And are you trying to have a future after you leave this island where you're going to be on TikTok or some other social media platform giving advice to couples now? Is that what you're aiming for? Because now that you've shown me some of his little dance TikToks, girl,
Mm-hmm.
that can't be the career path. So what is it that you're trying to do? Whatever Ace is trying to do, it has nothing to do with finding a relationship. And speaking of that, how are you what are you feeling right now with this whole Ace and Shelly thing? Because I know how I'm feeling. Like what are you feeling?
I don't want Ace with, or I don't want Shelly with Ace. I need one more attractive, chiller dude that also gives her attention to come in there because something. I'm sorry, Iris. I'm telling you right now, Shelly would have not gotten that ping pong, whatever the frick ping pong pancake crap, if Iris was still up in there and she was not coupled up with Jeremiah.
That's true.
Like one shiny thing is out, then you go to the one that is purely the diamond that you need to be with or need to try to couple up with. And I just like, okay, well, like Iris is gone, so I might as well just like do this.
Yeah, I think Ace is in his mind creating a story for America that he thinks America will like. I think he thinks in his mind he is moving in a way to help him get to the final. And I do believe that. And I'm not saying he doesn't like Shelley. I think he likes Shelley equally as he like everybody else. That's what I think. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he sees her as anything special. I and you know, I'm a I root for Shelley. I like Shelly a lot, but Shelly is also starting to get on my nerves because
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, girl, now you starting to look a little gullible to me. Even if you're not into Austin, you don't even have to be with Austin. But you giggling and shit every time Ace is talking to you and running this game on you, and you're acting like you're clueless, like you don't see the game. She's starting to irritate me a little bit.
And then also I think too, unless the producers are just not adding in the stuff that her Shelly and Austin are talking about, it's kind of like, Shelly, do you not see that you obviously like Ace more? Like
Right.
that's one thing you don't know that America's seeing. You obviously like Ace more. It's
Yeah.
so obvious, unless they're missing some type of thing that you and Austin are doing, which they could easily do because Love Island producers are just messy like that. It's just like there's nothing being shown here saying that you and Austin are truly more or have more chemistry than you and Ace. I think you and Austin can grow chemistry. It's just based off of what we're portrayed. You ain't giving him the time of day except for checking up on him, being like, oh, yeah, I still like you, but I still want to talk with Ace. That's literally the only conversation. It sounded like Orlando and Taylor. That's what it's
I
giving.
look, I agree with you. If the producers are not editing it in a way where they are, like you saying, they're cutting out something that would make us understand why Austin still feels like he has a chance. It doesn't make sense because even Austin, I'm looking at him. I'm putting to the side all the stuff we know about him in real life. I'm looking at him on this show and I'm like, Austin, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
It's time to move on. How many times can you have the same conversation with Shelly?
Yeah,
I don't
no.
like being in this this what do you call it? Not a
The
triangle. What
love
do you call
triangle.
it? Okay,
Love
love triangle. Yeah, I don't like being in this, and I feel some kind of way. And I when I see y'all together, how many times now? I know they've had that conversation at least 4 times, if not five.
Yeah, it has to be tiring.
Yeah, so I'm like, it is time to move on from Shelly. If Shelly wants Ace, which is not in her best interest, but if she wants Ace, let her go with Ace. Let her
Yeah.
go with Ace. It's not gonna work out. Okay. Based on who the couples are in the on the island right now, and we know we still got a lot of show to come. Um, the only couples I see potentially making it to the finals based on who is there right now would be Huda and Jeremiah if they could somehow find their way back. And I think Sierra and Nick if they continue to somehow grow. um, they might let Hannah and I always mess up his name. Say it for me.
Pepe.
Thank you. They might allow them to do something, whatever. But even while I'm saying this to you, I feel like I'm pulling for straws.
Yeah. It's
I'm
just
pulling for straws.
it's honestly the only one that I was like, okay, like even y'all's toxic love, y'all could still low key make it to the final. It's Huda and Jeremiah. They're the
Yeah,
only ones that seem certain. I'm not gonna say Pepe and Hannah because I mean she girl just hyperventilated on the TV just a couple minutes ago. So
and
and
what
they just
about them?
I didn't I don't have anything much to say about it. It's kind of like I'm thinking in that moment, girl, I'm assuming you know you messed up. That's maybe that's what it is. Cause girl, you unless I mean she did talk to Pepe and say I am a big crybaby. Unless she is just a big crybaby. But I'm like, girl, you kissing him goodbye 4 times.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
would think how you're reacting, like you would think that you were not just on top of Pepe smooching up and making out the day before. You would
Right.
really think, or not really the day before, earlier that
Earlier
same.
that day.
And luckily, when Pepe and her, I mean, I'm glad that she's still giving him a chance. I mean, it's fine, but I like how Pepe was like, "We're just gonna take things slow." I like that he said that because me personally, if I was Pepe in those shoes, I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
Pepe probably like, y'all need to bring somebody else in here for me because how she reacted when this dude left with these guttural cries and all of that, I can't trust how she moving.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot trust how she's moving. She was doing too much with the snot cry on the bed, sleeping with his pictures. Girl, you doing too much. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me back in the day when I used to watch The Bachelor, and
Mm,
somebody the first night when they get out the limousines, there's a few who are gonna get sent home and they literally be on the ground crying, talking about, I know he was the one, he was going to be my soulmate. Look,
yeah,
it's
no, that's
it's
real
something
sad.
it's a little something kind of ooh, cuckoo, cuckoo. Something's a little off there.
Yeah, yeah, no. No.
Something is a little off there.
All I gotta say is I feel like this whole episode and last episode would have been completely different if that girl did not kiss Pepe. Because if she didn't kiss Pepe, I'm telling you right now, Huda would have already been home.
Yeah.
Huda would there would have been a no brainer. Huda would have been gone, or it would have
Yeah.
been no, it would have just been Huda. Yeah, Huda would have been gone.
Mm, mm. Well, explain that a little bit now. How would Hood have been gone?
Because wait, if I can go back, okay, Taylor would have still wait. Okay, I was explaining that because if Hannah did not kiss Pepe,
Hmm.
Pepe, I feel very certain would have been coupled up with Sierra. So then it would be like Adriana been like the couple or the person that America wants you to be with is Sierra. So then Nick would be up for elimination. And then oh wait. No. Yeah, Nick would have been up for elimination. Um what's her name? Ira, whatever her name is. She would have been back with Jeremiah. Huda would have been up there. And then Taylor would have been up there. So they're gonna save Nick. And they're gonna save Taylor. So Huda would have been gone because she's the only one that's been like being painted as a bad guy.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry if that
That's
didn't make
true.
sense at the beginning. I was trying to get everything together, but it
Well,
yeah, because
I
Nick would say because they had a good connection. They've been together for a long time. Taylor is kind of giving that we want to really be here for him. He just needs to wake up and have a good bit of confidence and get her girl back. And everybody else,
mm.
you already know what they feel about Huda. So yeah, she would have been gone.
Well, I was shocked too when they blamed Austin. When the guys blamed Austin for
Yeah,
Charlie
I didn't
going
like that.
home, that shocked me.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Like Nick was like, "You realize what you did? You sent your best friend home. That was trash.
Yeah.
That was so trash. Who they really need to be talking to like that is well, first of all, they shouldn't be talking to nobody like that. Let's start there. But the person that really sold was Amaya. Me, I would have done a
Oh yeah.
tie.
Oh
I would
yeah.
have done a tie. We gonna do a tie. We gonna see what's gonna happen.
They
Cause
should they should have done they should have done a three-way tie. And then luckily, then hopefully maybe everybody would have had to decide who to go. And it would have been great if it could have been anybody, because who they should have thrown off the island was Amaya. I
yeah,
let me tell you, Amaya can go. Like how you feel about Ace. I'm no fan of Ace either, but Amaya can go for me. All that crying and all that, we don't want to. I'm not. Look, I have a problem. As much as I think Hannah is overreacting with all this crying and all this that she's doing, I have a problem that Amaya would choose to send the man her so-called best friend is into home.
and the fact that see, this is when producers are missing out on stuff. You telling me this whole time Amaya and Hannah did not talk
Yeah.
at all, and you didn't even have the British man, Scottish man, whatever he is, be like, I wonder what Amaya and Hannah are doing. Why haven't they talked? Do some
Yeah.
type of slick joke like throughout that whole hour and 1 minute episode. You telling me they did not talk about that situation at all? That's weird. Like y'all are
That
missing.
you're right. You are right about that. Tonight they didn't touch on that at all.
Like
You know,
no, there's no way.
yeah. I don't know what the producers are doing with that. They kind of cut that up because we would have expected for there to be some kind of conversation between Amaya and Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so the only couple we haven't talked about so far is Taylor, Olandria, and Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Taylor has a chance?
I think he does if he just steps up his game a little bit. This is when don't want to agree with Ace. I mean, he's valid on this. Ain't nothing that deep, but he does need to step up a little bit. Show her like you are the prize. Like Orlando, you are that girl. Like you look good. Da, 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 da. You need to say that. All that stuff that he was saying to Ace, like she's a really cool girl. I really mess with that girl. Like tell her that. Tell her that. And I feel like Orlandria, she's not that type, at least from what I see, that she needs validation all the time. But still, anybody needs some type of sense of validation when you're trying to couple up with someone. So if you want your girl back, just show that you really want to do it. Make Ace do one of them stupid little blazer things, pancake and ping pong type little things. Do that. Do the yoga. Do
Do something.
some handstand competition. Something stupid. Just do it. Or who can swim the fastest in the pool? Just random little stuff
I
that y'all
mean, you're
can
a
do.
cowboy. Do your best cowboy Carter night or something. Do something.
That part. And
Do
then also,
something.
like, if you can see early on when Huda and Jeremiah were doing pretty good and they automatically got a water park date, if the producers see that y'all are doing well, like, they will do something for you.
That's true.
They will.
Well, I like Taylor, even though I think they look like cousins the whole way, far as like no spark between them. But I'm gonna tell you what I did notice tonight. I did notice when Alandria came back from that date, she went to him and she said, "Did you miss me?" And he hugged her and they kissed. You know, it was a quick peck, but they did kiss, right? I
Yeah.
also noticed when Olandria was with Jalen on the beach, I don't feel like I saw fireworks. I don't feel and I also felt that it seems like Olandria, even though she tells us all she's a slow burn and all of that, but it almost felt to me like she was really trying to respect the time she had put in with Taylor and not jump too quick with Jalen.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I think she was just trying to give both of them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm just gonna get to know both of y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause
So
I think honestly, if Taylor starts upping his game, I think she's just gonna go straight back to him. Because you see a dude that you were originally coupled up with, it was kind of this shy banter, like you knew you liked each other, but it was just really shy. And now you see him turn up that switch a little bit. I think it's gonna be like, okay, it's Taylor.
yeah, Taylor needs to pull some of that energy out you showed to me in those TikToks when he was stepping with the alphas. That energy I saw in that video, he needs to bring that to the island
Yeah.
because I saw swag in that video when he was stepping, and I'm like, bro, we're gonna need you to bring some of that swag to this island because based on what feels like the energy is right now, I I don't know if Olandria is really feeling Jalen like that. Like it's just a slam dunk that Taylor doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. I don't think it's yeah. I feel like everybody has a the door's open. The door is open on both sides.
Yeah.
Everybody got a chance. So yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, hate to agree with Ace, but he was right when he told Taylor that you lack a sense of urgency.
That's
He
big
was
coming
right.
from.
It pissed you off.
Yeah, I mean he's right, but still, it's like Ace. You ain't got. Well, nah, he got too much urgency. Soon as a new shiny thing come in, oh my god, let me bring her a pancake. Bro, sit down. He pissing me off. Like I can't.
Well, anything that I missed, I think we covered like all of the big things. Anything?
I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, back to Jeremiah. Put this or not Jeremiah. Back to Ace. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about Ace. Probably Ace going on that couch and you saying that he said that I was trying to warn you from this or I was trying to save you from this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, did you not peep that when they first were lashing out at each other at the very beginning of the episode, that he was just like, I don't see it. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Talking about Jeremiah. He's saying, Jeremiah, you're full of bull. You're full of bull. That is literally what he's saying to him. And then you go on the couch and be like, brother, I was trying to save you from this. What the frick is this? What are we talking about?
You playing a game?
You're playing a game because you were just talking how I was a load of bull. You were just
Yeah.
saying that to my face over and over, and you're so adamant about it. And then you come on the couch trying to have a brother to brother moment. I was trying to save you from this craziness. What's going on? If
You
that's not,
know,
if you're a person that can think for yourself, you gotta notice, even if there's a little bit of truth to it, because both Jeremiah and Huda, I still believe, are a little too toxic for each other. Because Huda is what is it, obsessive, and Jeremiah likes that obsessiveness. He literally called her cute. Okay,
he did. He did.
those words came out of his mouth, so he put himself in that situation. You can't blame it fully on Huda. But I'm like, Ace is like, he's trying to be the real person, but the protector and the savior, but then also talk behind the back and try to get everyone to turn against you. And then you got your homeboy Nick that's supposed to be like a brother to you go against you and be a follower of Ace. Like, people aren't understanding something's weird.
Yeah. Ace is clearly beyond the shadow of a doubt, playing everybody.
Yeah.
He's just simply playing everybody. He is. There's no loyalty to anybody but himself. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. He and Nick can be like twins because Nick, even him saying, I lost respect for you when you didn't go check on her. And well, maybe we lost respect for you when you didn't tell Sierra that you were just kissing Bella, or yeah, that you were kissing Bella over there in one of those hideaways or whatever. It's interesting how they try to act like they're checking the other people.
Yeah.
It's that's just wild to me.
Mhm.
Okay, so I thought before we get off, if you got time, we could just kind of scan through a couple of tweets just to see what people are talking about. You cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. This person said, Do I need to make this smaller, you think?"
No, you're good.
All right. So this person said, Huda bashing Iris for doing nothing wrong, but had no smoke for Ace or Nick, who talked shit about her in front of her face.
Literally, like, why this is a thing? Like, why is the dude's never in the wrong, and the one person that's in the wrong is Jeremiah with something that's not even true? What's going on?
And why was she coming for Iris? Because at the end, she did come for Iris. She's trying to act like she's a girl's girl, but she's not. That's not. She's not a girl's girl. And meanwhile, Nick told you straight up he thought you were overbearing.
Mhm.
Ace told you straight up it was too much too soon and it's not believable. Okay. And she didn't have no energy for them like that at all.
At all.
Mm. Let's see. Huda trying to flip the gaslighting manipulative table onto Jeremiah like we ain't watch her do it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
What the F did Iris what the F did Iris though Huda? What? This is when you lose me again. Stop blaming other women for the actions of a man. OMFG.
Real.
We agree. She's effed up because you set a bar so effing high. Ace making sense to me a bit. I don't know.
I mean, I agree. I said that in the last live. If you cannot set a bar so high and stoop down and think the girl's just gonna take it easy, there has to be some type of conversation, and that conversation was never had.
Yeah, and you know what? I think a lot of women, no matter how they feel about Huda or whatever, can relate to that because how many women have been in a situation where a guy presents himself, he works so hard to get you, he does all these things, and then one day you're like, who the fuck is this man? Because he's not acting anything like how he was acting to get me.
Yeah, and then and there's been situations like this. Then when the girl mentions it, then the girl is overbearing. The girl is doing too much. You're stressing me out so much. Yada yada yada. Like, no, dude, you put yourself in this situation. I'm checking
That's
up on you
true.
because obviously you're not trying to work.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Let's see. Everyone deserves their Emmys for this. Jeremiah playing the checked out love bomber, Huda the crash out, Ace the instigator, Nick the messy two face, and the girls for being the peanut gallery of delusion because they know why we voted Huda to lose her man. Woo!
That's so real.
Did that not say it all?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Okay, let's see what else. Huda saying it would take a miracle for me to take him back.
Sure, buddy. I'm surprised she stood 10 toes down when they were in the speakeasy though.
Yeah,
I honestly thought she was just gonna fold, but I'm like, okay, girl. I mean, it's a
yeah.
fake narrative, so whatever. But still, she kind of held on
I,
to
I
it.
I was feeling like if he reached out right now and tried to hug her or kiss her, would she fold?
I don't, how she was acting. I think girl was a little too heated.
But if he had tried to hug her, would she be like, no, no, stop, stop, I don't want, and then all of a sudden fold?
No, I don't think so. I think she would yell, Jeremiah, get the F off me. I feel like
Okay.
she would have done that.
I hope that's true because we're gonna see in these next few nights how quickly. Because
And how? Oh
go
no,
ahead,
you
go
keep
ahead.
going. You keep going. I cut you off.
No, because I was like, because she wants to fold.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, how Huda look. Nobody can ever see. This is one thing. A lot of people could talk about Huda's personality. Okay, but one thing about Huda, she's obviously a gorgeous girl. Okay,
Oh
how
yeah,
she
she's
was
gorgeous.
coming, how she was coming down them stairs with them leggings and that snatched dress. Oh, and I saw them zoom in on Jeremiah's face. I was like, you know that girl look good. You know that girl look
Mhm.
good. And boy, look excited to see her.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like there's still something. It's just like, oh, there's so many emotions. I need it to be fixed now.
One thing I know for sure, unless one of them ends up getting voted off the island, they're not done.
Yeah. And I hope, I really pray. I do not want Huda off this island. I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I might be the 100 couple of people that's in here or out in the world saying that, but it's just like I don't want her off. I want this love to work out some type of miracle way that's not toxic anymore.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
just want it to work out. And I don't know why, but it's just like I just want to give her the benefit of the doubt because some of the hate is extremely forced to me.
Yeah,
Besides
we don't want that.
besides all the stuff that she's saying about the girls. That's
Mm.
understood. But
Yeah.
everything else, I don't understand.
Okay, well, check this one out. Jeremiah not checking on Huda the night the vote happened actually made her actions episode, only this episode, a little valid. Because how are we locked in since day one? I almost get dumped, and you don't even say a word to me.
That's so real.
Yeah, she was justified. Let's see. I will vote for Shelley no matter what, but at this point, I'm going to complain about it the entire time. Imagine being 27, letting a 22-year-old dwarf play in your face.
I like this comment. Scroll back down. I'm about to take a picture of this. I like this one. I like this one. Cat, what's
I
cat?
can bookmark it. Let me bookmark it.
Keeking the Kirkin, whatever it said.
There
Keeking
it
the
is.
or kicking it with Kirk, Keek, whatever it is.
Kecking it with Keck.
I don't know, but that right there, that's exactly what it is. How you gonna be played like this?
They say I will vote for Shelley no matter what, but at this point, I'm going to complain about it the entire time. Imagine being 27, letting a 22-year-old dwarf play in your face.
Dead
God,
serious.
that was good. That was good. Okay, somebody said, okay, so our votes got taken out of context. Then now Huda thinks we love her and are protecting her from Jeremiah when half of their issues and problems literally stem from her. I know you don't like that one too much.
I don't. Move on. Next.
moving right along. Moving right along. Okay, Taylor and Nick helping Ace with his dates with Shelly, but yet doing nothing for the girls they were coupled with.
Mm.
Facts. Because when has Nick done anything for Sierra? He hasn't done.
Nothing.
You can forget they're even together.
Literally, it's like unless it's producers painting it like y'all are boring.
Right.
Y'all are
Right.
boring.
Look at this. Huda when Jeremiah came back from his date.
She's so real. I would have been honestly, I would have been the same way. No matter if I was, well, I ain't gonna be crashing out now. But if it was like that and all that stuff happened, and let's say we were a good couple and just something was just, I don't know, it was actually like what the frick is people doing, I'd be the same way. I don't want to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
Today I can't talk to y'all. I mean, you didn't want to talk to me, so why would I check up on you?
Okay, now what about this one? I respect Nick for how he spoke out to Jeremiah. He didn't stay quiet like the rest of the boys and actually pushed him. The same way he critiques Huda, he critiques Jeremiah because they're both moving weird here. Many viewers keep forgetting Jeremiah is fake as fuck.
Mm. Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I know Ace is an ass, but I truly cannot blame Shelly if she picks him over Austin when Austin is quite literally just sitting there watching Ace take initiative and not doing shit about it.
That is true.
That is
That is
true. And
true.
that's why I say Ace,
He does like a little lost puppy every time he does something.
yeah. And like and Ace is walking around like he's the alpha, like he's the big dog in charge running thing. And Austin is like he's just happy to get crumbs from the table.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna do I think maybe three more. All right. Here she goes blaming Iris again, saying she moves so weird. Huda, when I catch you.
Mm-mm-mm.
Huda should have left that part out of tonight.
Mm-hmm.
This person said again, Huda, see, this is where you lose me. Blaming Iris and saying she's not a girl's girl when the whole time it's you that's not a girl's girl. What you think about that?
I believe it. Huda's like, I think Huda. How do I explain
Is,
this?
is Huda my man, my man, my man, my man?
Yeah, I think it's that. Like Huda is a girl's girl as long as it doesn't involve her man. Like that. That sounds so toxic. Like she's not truly a girl's girl. She might be a girl's girl too much, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Like she thinks like in this experience, if you're coupled up, like this is completely off limits. It's kind of one of those things like you don't understand what show you're on, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
Oh, it
Like
does.
if how do I explain it? If this was a scenario that was in the outside world, and let's say her and Jeremiah were talking pretty seriously, and let's say there's a girl like hanging out in the friend group, know that they're talking pretty seriously, but then continues to talk to Jeremiah just because they're in the talking stage, I could understand that in the outside world, right?
Right.
But in this show, it's kind of like this kind of is the whole premise of the show for a
Yeah.
bombshell to talk to someone else.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things that's like, how do I explain it? It kind of stems back.
A part of being on this show is not you being a girl's girl. In fact, you really can't be a girl's girl on the show.
Yeah, it stems back from, I mean, you can be a girl's girl on the show, but it stems back to the challenges. If you're secure enough and who you're coupled up with at the moment, not having to be secure like in a relationship, but secure enough that like you know you're gonna have open conversations, you shouldn't be worried about what girl he's kissing during a challenge. You shouldn't be really worried about what they're doing on a date. Like it's just small little things like that shouldn't really bother you that much.
Well, I think you should come on the show because Love Island is what Love Island is. Now, once you've been on there a while and you've built a rapport, let's say like how Serena and those did last season. Well, now I will understand if they stepped on each other's toes. That looks a little funny, okay? Because y'all have built up this relationship. But when a bombshell comes into the villa, when a new woman comes into the villa, it is not a part of her requirements to be a girl's girl. She is supposed to come to the island and really get to know everybody. That is the whole purpose of the show.
Yeah, when it's a bombshell, you can't really blame what they do for real because that's literally their job. But like you
Right.
said, if it's somebody that's kind of like the original cast and they didn't really show this pattern of liking the person you're coupled up with and now they're magically talking, I could 100% understand how you would feel some type of way about that. Because it's like,
Absolutely.
where the freak this happened? I
Yeah.
ain't see
Where
this
this
coming.
come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And let's see. And just like that, Huda and Jeremiah hate each other. We ate that up, America. Now I know you don't like that one.
Mm-mm-mm.
No, you don't like that one at all.
I don't.
And you know when you go on TikTok, it's only just gonna be like it's yeah, I'll stop because the rest of them look like they're starting to go down that path of America.
Oh,
You did you read that one?
wait. Huda has the right to be mad about him not checking on her, but everything else, babe, I can't help you there. Bookmark that. I need that. Or let me see the ad. I'm about to look that up.
Okay, I'm gonna bookmark it too. And let me scroll back up so you can see it.
Okay. Clue
Clueless K uh lower hyphen 325.
underscore
Well, yeah.
lower. Okay.
Ah, yeah. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, because Huda going off about Iris not being a girl's girl after she's called every bombshell a bitch is actually psychotic. Seek psychiatric help, Huda.
Okay. Okay.
I want to see if there's a bigger group of people like you who are like on the Huda defense team at this point. Look, Hannah once Charlie walked out the villa doors. Yeah, Hannah finna get right back into that guy she was on top of without missing a jump. She's got all that crying gonna be a thing in the past.
Yeah. It sure is.
Okay. Being a real man and comforting the woman he committed to and never says real as man. Okay, we're done. All right, so all right, so that's it for tonight. We thank everybody who dropped in. Please like the live, leave a comment. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel already, please consider subscribing. We appreciate the support. And there's another episode coming on tomorrow night. we'll see what happens tomorrow night, especially with this recoupling. Who knows what in the world is going to happen? But until the next time, V, anything you want to say signing out?
All I gotta say is people need to open up their eyes to the games that Ace is playing, talking about other people playing games. They need to focus on how much you be switching up, especially if you see his character on TikTok. What persona are you trying to make? And what route are you trying to make to win this money? That's I just need people to open up their eyes. I just need them to do it. But yeah, that's it.
And there you have it. Until the next time, bye, y'all.